Hello there, folks. I'm Dan Brown from sortofinteresting.com, and today you're joining me for a little walk and a talk. So, this was the pretty grim grey looking sky just before I set out on this little walk, and this is my hometown of Oswestry, some of the various little landmarks sticking up on the skyline there. And really, we just took a very brief, only about maybe a 5.5 mile walk. It was slightly longer than I'd expected it to be, and really I just went through a wander to try and discover some different little shortcuts to create a new miniature walking route that would take maybe an hour or less, so that I could basically, well, first of all, enjoy some of this wonderful stuff. Oh, I wanted to throw that cow picture in just because it's like an optical illusion with all the cow's markings and the way it had its head, trying to make it, well, figure out which part is which of it, basically. But as you can see, firstly, what a beautiful autumn day it was. You had that grim sky, but then you had the sun coming through other areas and the mist and just the beautiful autumn colours creeping into the trees. I will be doing another video hopefully this week when there's more of these colours creeping in even further to the trees. But basically, with this walk, I was trying to just have a nose around and really get familiar with some of the little shortcuts and places that I haven't been for a long, long time, as many of you know, and many new viewers may not know, that I did live on a boat for the last 4 years. So now I'm back living in my hometown, Oswestry. I've been redoing a lot of the walking routes that I used to do, and one of my things, because when I was on the boat I had such an active life, having to get on my bike or walk for miles to get supplies or to get to work and stuff like that many times, pretty much all year round. Just a quick side note here, you might see a little white dot in the very middle of the screen on the horizon. That is one of the telescopes which is all linked up to the Jodrell Bank Observatory out towards Manchester, but that was at a little place called Knockin. Anyway, back to the main event, main narrative of this little trip. So basically, after having such an active life and coming to suddenly live in town right by where I work and with all my friends and that all about in easy access, I'm trying to figure out different ways so that I can do something generally active but not too disruptive to everyday life every day of the month, no matter what the weather, etc. So I've got various short biking routes that I've set up, but I want to try and alternate maybe a bike ride, a walk, and then a run, and then bike ride, walk, run, and do that one of those each day. And so I'm trying to figure out an hour-long walking route, and again, having all of this beautiful countryside and all these little country lanes. I mean, just look at this. This is, again, as I always say, this is something straight out of Lord of the Rings. This little area here where you've got the little bridges over the streams and stuff. And my goodness me, in the old days, a few years ago, when I'd come up here in the winter, which I will be doing in the future after we've had loads of wet weather, you would not believe how much water there is gathered around these places. You can see there, even in the fields, they've added little wooden beams to walk on because it gets so boggy. So really, with this, I was trying to find a slightly shorter route than I ended up actually taking. But just cutting off the main paths and the main tracks that I normally do. And again, I mean, this is the sort of stuff I love. This is a little footpath right next to somebody's actual garden and property, and you walk straight down there, what is basically their driveway there to the cattle grid. And I mean, there's no reason for anybody apart from maybe the 2 or 3 people who live up in the couple of houses on this particular lane to ever come here. So even though you're a matter of minutes, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes away from town, you're in such a sort of rural, secluded place as well at the same time. So this is, like I say, it's a slightly bigger route than I was hoping. I'm going to try and figure out a way to cut little corners off it till I have an hour-long walk that I can do on one morning, and like you say, then the next day I'll do a bike ride, and the next day I'll go out for a little run somewhere. And yeah, that's really I just wanted to show you some beautiful autumn scenery and really just share a few thoughts. So thank you so much for tuning in. Check out my short Kindle books if you want to see more of my life in the great outdoors. Feel free to subscribe for loads more stuff like this from Shropshire and around the Oswestry area, and all sorts of random stuff too. And of course, my friends, check the links in the description and you'll find me up to all sorts of nonsense all over the internet. Until the next time, keep it bootworthy, keep it interesting, have a fantastic day, and of course, farewell.